It was 30 years ago that the Texas Parks and Wildlife television series, originally known as Made in Texas, got its start. Richard Roberts is one of more than 30 producers, photographers, writers, and editors who have contributed to the show since its first broadcast in 1985.
My name is Richard Roberts, and I was executive producer of the Texas Parks and Wildlife TV series from 1989 to 2013. And one of my favorite stories I worked on was an early story I did with photographer Wyman Meinzer, a fellow who works up in the Panhandle. Big fan of his work, and when I got a chance to work with him, it was just pretty tickled getting to know the guy. And what struck me was his generosity in sharing setups with me where he had built blinds for attracting wildlife and just great setups for photographing wildlife. And he just sort of invited me into his world and let me participate in that, and I really appreciated that. He's a character, for sure.
In this part of Texas, I can sort of see what it used to be like. You know, it's my only touch, it's my only connection with Texas 100 years ago. It's almost like in another life I was there.
As a young man, Wyman Meinzer began a search for that other life. In the early 1970s, for 3 years, he lived alone, hunting and trapping, making his living off the land. What he learned during that time would serve him well in the years to come. Today, Wyman Meinzer makes his living with a camera, specializing in the wildlife and landscapes of North Texas. His photographs have appeared in publications throughout the world. He's widely respected as one of the best in his field. Wyman believes his background in hunting and trapping has played an important role in his success.
If you have a background like myself where you've spent years in close proximity to wild animals, you can actually read body language of certain, whether it's birds, whether it's mammals, and I can be around an animal for a little while, especially if he's going to be accepting of my presence for a while, say for instance on roadrunners, and I can actually most of the time tell what or predict what that creature is going to be doing in the next couple of minutes.
Hello there, little ones. Don't be alarmed. I'm just gonna take a reading here and see what her light is. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I'm 16, okay? Let's go see what your mom and dad's got for you. Mice seem to be pretty fragile. It doesn't take much for a roadrunner to kill one. They don't take nearly as long in the killing of a mouse. Good action, good action. Come on. It never ceases to amaze me to watch them feed. Especially so whenever the prey species is such a size that it takes a while for the little ones to go ahead and accept it. Then there's a lot of interaction between the adult and the young. A lot of vocalization. I'm going to say some sort of enticement of some sort. That's whenever I became so involved in listening, sometimes I miss a shot. It never ceases to amaze me. It's very fascinating to watch them. I love these two roadrunners. I feel toward them like I would a dog I've had for years. It's just like I've known them forever, and I'm not ashamed to say if something happens to them, I'll probably break down and cry.
The dramatic landscapes of the Texas Canyonlands are another favorite subject for the camera of Wyman Meinzer.
These raccoon tracks are interesting in that they lead up into the canyon, sort of tells a story in a way. And I'm going to try. The only problem I have is that there's not a lot of shadow in them to really bring them out, but I'm going to go ahead and take a shot, and if it doesn't work out, well, really there's not much lost. However, it might work out. This is looking better. Set it at a hyperfocal distance where everything in the foreground and background will be in focus.
These rugged canyons were once a haven for the Comanches, who etched records of their lives into the soft red sandstone. Their carved pictures from the past are soon to be captured on film.
It's really good that this is in a cavern type situation. The dirt stays on the floor all the time and covers the artwork because it'll minimize some of the weathering effect. This sandstone really has a tendency to react to a lot of moisture and disintegrate over a period of time. It needs to be remembered too that even brushing over a period of years might have an effect on this, so it needs to be brushed lightly. Sandstone really deteriorates.
For this series of photographs, longtime friend Canute Millhouse has agreed to pose for the camera.
All right, now then have like one hand rested on the rock. There you go, just kind of like, you know, it's real natural. There you go. Well, it's best, I think, to put this dust back over the glyphs to protect them from further weathering. Just like it was left. We found it, we're going to leave it the same way.
You know, I've gone to Alaska and shot things for Field and Stream, and Parks and Wildlife has asked me to shoot some things for them. And I love doing this. It's a challenge to me. You know, I guess I'm the kind of person who, and I'm not saying this is good. I'm just saying that I'm the type of person who must be faced with some sort of a challenge.
From time to time, Wyman still visits the site of his first big challenge. The cabin is still there, somewhat disheveled nearly 20 years later. Today, Wyman Meinzer lives in the nearby North Texas town of Benjamin, a man clearly focused on his life's work.
I just like to photograph. I love to create great pictures. I don't tire of my work. I enjoy every day. I hope that each day will give me something new to look forward to, and it generally does. An adventure of some sort. So I really can't imagine doing anything else.